the 12 Star Fairies.
The palatial buildings of Changdeokgung Palace. Passing the Sampyeongmun Gate, Daejojeon Hall, a secret and mysterious space appears at the innermost building in the Changdeokgung Palace. Daejojeon, the royal bedchamber hall of the king and queen, as well as the living space of the queen, was thoroughly secluded space from the outside. It was a space that had to be thoroughly preserved and cherished so as to take the birth to and raise a prince and a princess to succeed the royal line. Centering around the main wooden floor, Daejojeon is divided into the West Ondol, which is the bedchamber of the queen, and the East Ondol, the bedchamber of the king. The meaning making greatly in the name of Daejojeon is that the nation and the people can enjoy the blessings only after making the crowned prince who succeeded the royal line big a ball. Through it was a thoroughly protected area. The Daejojeon Hall is paradoxically the building that was burned the most times in the fire in Changdeokgung Palace. It was the domed building that was last council in the royal prisons was held in 1910. It was built with Gyotaejeon Hall, moving from the Gyeongbokgung Palace to the present place when it was burned down in the fire in 1917. At the end of the Joseon dynasty, when the confusion has reached its peak, what did the queens and crown princes who stayed in the Daejojeon Hall think? Didn't they draw the future of Joseon to survive somehow in the tight spot of the big powers? The spacious courtyard come to my heart with regretfulness for some reason or other. At the eastern extremity of Changdeokgung Palace, where the scenery is beautiful, here are Nakseonje, Seokbokhan, and Sugangje. All of these simple buildings are called as the whole area of Nakseonje. Nakseonje was originally a space reserved for Gyeongbin Kim, the royal concubine of the King Hunjong. Nakseonje is the space where the King Hunjong's wishes remained to enjoy a comfortable and relaxed life with her in this simple and neat space. Nakseonje existing in the west means that they enjoy doing good work, while the Seokbokhan in the east means giving blessings to pray for the heir, the stability and affordable way of life that the King Hunjong hoped for appeared in the name of the building. In general, the king stayed in the Nakseonje, the queen in the Seokbokhan, and the queen dowager in the Seogangje, in the manner of emphasizing efficiency that the King Hunjong had in mind. Those are built with consideration for the functions and convenience of the lifestyle, rather than just the appearance of the buildings. There are a lot of entangled satires in the Nakseonje. In addition to the last Empress Yun, the Princess Deokhae, Mrs. Lee Bangja, and the last Prince Yeongchin stayed here. The most beautiful and remarkable quarter in Changdeokgung Palace is the definitely rear garden, Huan. The scenic rear garden, called different either Kumwan or Biwan, as a forbidden area for ordinary people, was a resting place for the weary kings who were swamped with heavy workload. The quarters of Huan rear garden was created by Taejo, who designed the Changdeokgung Palace, and a number of buildings, ponds, and hundreds of trees in harmony with the king's promenade built in a huge space of 60,000 pyong. It is very B1, the rear garden of Changdeokgung Palace, that was inscribed by UNESCO as a World Heritage in Korea. Buyongji is the best spot in P1. It is the largest quarter in Huan, which has a pond formed under the hill and the figure of the Buyongjae with the two pillars in the pond, which are beautiful enough to let out an exclamation. There is a pond and a pavilion in the north part of the Buyongjae, which resembles a classical scholar. These are the Aeryanji and Aeryanjeong, named by Sukjong, who says, I love my lotus because it is clean and possesses the virtue of the noble man, even though it lands in a dirty place. Coming down a little to the south with the back of the Aeryanji, you will find the Yeongyangdang, which was built by the order of the King Seonju, who was wondering what the house of the Sadebu, scholar official, looked like. It was modeled after the house of Yangban, nobleman, and the King Seonju and the Queen stayed here with greeting guests at times. The building built lastly in Changdeokgung Palace is Changdeokgung, seated in the dense forest with a quiet and chic style. The hexagonal ceiling on the double roof is beautifully embellished with the paintings of the blue dragon and a yellow dragon, which signifies the king. In the Ongryuchan, the most rustic quarter in the rear garden, there is Cheongjong, which is the only one in the palace with a thatched roof. This is a space made by the king who himself wanted to experience the farming and to understand the lives of the people. Indeed, it is a space where the king's interest and affection of the people are expressed. Unlike the Gyeongbokgung Palace, the Changdeokgung Palace provides a lot of space for the king. The Gyeongbokgung Palace was like an office for work, whereas Changdeokgung Palace is a palace enjoy both work and leisure together. The reason why many kings like the Changdeokgung Palaces so much is the composure and the joyful arts that are ingrained in the various places in the Changdeokgung Palace. Is it the very identity of Changdeokgung Palace, which is the resting place to smooth the body and mind of the exhausted king?